Right, time now to introduce our guest. He is one of our favourite Frenchmen and she's one of our country's finest actors. It's Fred Sirieix and Tracy-Ann Oberman. Bonsoir, bonjour. Fred, as you can see, we are all rooting for Rachel, and you know, I think better than most, the stress and the energy that goes into supporting somebody taking part in the games. Got to talk about your little duck, your daughter,
it was
Andrea.
one of the, I was just saying to Tracy, you know, one of, if not the best experience in my entire life. It was just incredible. I was crying every day, several times a day. It was so beautiful, it was so intense, you know. The Olympics were in Paris, you know, Andrea had been in Tokyo before, but obviously nobody could travel. And it was so emotionally charged, it was so special. I've never had such an experience in my entire life.
It
gives me goosebumps.
Honestly, we love watching the journey on social media. It was beautiful.
Talking about special moments, Tracy-Ann, a special character returning. There's been so much excitement around Chrissy, what's returning to EastEnders. It's been almost 20 years.
Yeah, 20
was it an easy yes?
Do you know, the time was never right and things were never right. It never quite happened. But this time, Chris, the new executive producer, rang me. I was free. He told me the storyline. I sat down for 30 minutes while he told it to me. I was like, yeah.
You're in.
I'm in. It was so brilliant.
I mean, how could you say no?
Not for that story. It was really good.
We've had loads of questions come through. First one is from Manvi, who says he wants to know what it was like filming and stepping on to that iconic set for the first time in years. That must have been a bit of a...
So... It was weird. There are bits that aren't quite on the set, I'll give you that much. But yeah, you know, it was like also playing that character after 20 years. Yeah. It was like finding a coat in the attic that you remembered you loved and you put it on. It was really nice, and the crew were pretty much the same. And to work with some of the actors that I loved, that I haven't seen for 20 years, was amazing.
I mean, Chrissy has had so many iconic moments. I'm going to put you on the spot, but is there a favourite for you?
There were some great moments, cutting Jill Halfpenny's hair off, or so many fights, but for me, being pushed into Dirty Den's open grave by Barbara Windsor was I loved this
moment.
You were pushed in a grave.
Look, she punches me in the face and then I fall into my husband's grave. There was something so camp and so brilliant. I remember bumping into Jonathan Ross, actually, came up to me that day and went, OK, I've seen that episode. I think it's one of the best soap things. Please come on my show. That moment was just brilliant.
I think the thing is with Chrissy's character, is it? One moment, she's a victim, then the next minute, she's a villain. So what are we going to see this time around?
Well, exactly. I think that was why people, you know, I couldn't believe how much love there was for that character. It's been 20 years. And people just still love her. And I still get letters going, oh, when's she coming back? And she is. For me, that was the brilliant thing about her, and where soap is so good, because they write these female characters brilliantly, these strong female characters. Was she a victim or was she a villain? You know, nobody's ever born a villain. The things that happen to them in their lives make them more villainous. Personally, I think with a better lawyer, she would have got off with good behaviour and mitigating circumstances. She spent longer in prison than most actual murderers. So she was a really interesting, good character to play.
Well, we're so happy she's coming back.
It's
and
explosive.
Sticking to the East End, you are bringing back your version of Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice, which actually is set in EastEnders, London, right?
I know. I came out of playing. It was a version that I came up with. I took the Merchant of Venice, Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. I turned it into a British version based on my great-grandmother. Shylock is now a female matriarch. I'm sure we all come from families with strong grandmas, strong mums. So this woman and her one daughter, all she wants is for her to be better than she is, and then she lends money to this aristocratic fascist and they end up in court together. So I took this play, based Shylock on my great-grandmother who lived in the East End. I based it, there she is there, my Bubba Annie.
Oh, wow.
Came out of Belarus, out of all the pogroms, lived in the East End, stood up to fascism at the Battle of Cable Street. All the neighbours came to join her, the Afro-Caribbean community, the Irish working class, ordinary heroes from all over the country. It was a British civil rights moment. So I've merged that together with my Merchant of Venice, and it's coming back into the West End in December.
Wow. That sounds really interesting, actually.
It's really interesting. It's a moment in... It's a play that has problems, but I think we've solved a lot of those problems. Having a strong female Shylock standing up to these British fascists and basing it on real history. I mean, we were talking earlier, your family were there as well, at the Battle of Cable Street, where the law was changed because ordinary heroes said, no, we will not be divided. And it's all about how, you know, we're better together, stronger together, and prouder together. There are people out there that want to divide us.
But it's very good to remind people like this and to take a stand for these important issues. It's really important, you know, we can't do enough of that.
And like Tracy-Ann said, it's that brilliant side of everyone coming together and wanting the same thing. But Tracy, it's obviously it's incredible incredible, and people can't wait to see it. And just to let people know that your return to EastEnders is happening this autumn, and tickets to the Merchant of Venice are available right now, so go and see it.